Beneath a sky overflowing with silver stars, a fennec fox wandered quietly through the endless desert. The sand glowed softly under the moonlight, shifting like waves across the sleeping earth, while cool night wind drifted gently over the dunes. In that enormous silence, the tiny fox moved carefully and peacefully, leaving behind only delicate footprints that would disappear again by morning. Tonight, beside the warm crackling of a fire, we step into the life of the fennec fox and follow him deep into the stillness of the desert, where the world becomes quiet enough to hear even the smallest dreams. During the daytime, the desert could feel harsh and unforgiving. The sun burned across the sand with relentless heat, and the air shimmered beneath endless blue skies. Most creatures hid from the scorching light. The desert appeared empty, almost lifeless. But when night arrived, everything changed. The heat faded slowly into cool air. Stars emerged one by one across the heavens until the entire sky seemed alive with light. The desert became peaceful again, ancient and calm, as though the earth itself had finally exhaled after a long day. This was when the fennec fox awakened. Small and light-footed, he stepped from his underground den and paused beneath the moon. His enormous ears tilted gently toward the darkness, listening carefully to sounds most creatures would never notice. The movement of insects beneath sand. The distant rustle of dry grass. The whisper of wind traveling across faraway dunes. Those great ears were more than a curious feature. They were how he understood the world. In a place where silence stretched endlessly in every direction, the fox learned that survival depended on listening. Not forcing. Not fighting. Listening. The fennec fox never tried to dominate the desert around him. He adapted to it instead. He accepted its loneliness, its quietness, and its endless open space without resentment. And because of that, the desert welcomed him gently. Every night, he traveled slowly through winding dunes painted silver beneath the stars. He never hurried. There was no reason to rush in a world so ancient and patient. He moved with the rhythm of the night itself, calm and deliberate, as though every step was part of a peaceful ritual. Sometimes he climbed to the top of a tall dune and simply sat there for long stretches of time. The stars stretched endlessly above him while cool wind brushed softly against his pale fur. In those moments, the tiny fox seemed completely at peace, perfectly balanced within the vast emptiness around him. Humans often fear solitude. We fill our lives with noise, distractions, and endless movement because silence can feel uncomfortable. But the fennec fox understood something many people forget. Silence is not always loneliness. Sometimes silence is rest. Sometimes silence is where the soul finally feels safe enough to breathe. The fox carried that quiet understanding everywhere he went. When cold desert winds swept across the dunes during winter nights, he found shelter in carefully dug burrows beneath the sand. Deep underground, the world became warm and still. Curled tightly into a small ball of fur, the fox rested peacefully while the stars continued their silent journey overhead. Even in sleep, he remained gentle and alert, connected to the rhythm of the desert around him. As the years passed, the fennec fox came to know every hidden corner of the wilderness. He memorized where cool shadows rested at dawn and where small patches of life survived between the dunes. The desert no longer felt empty to him. It felt alive. He understood that beauty did not need to be loud or overwhelming. Sometimes beauty existed in tiny things. A soft breeze at midnight. Moonlight touching sand. The faint sound of distant wind beneath the stars. The fox never needed more than that. Far away from crowded cities and endless human ambition, he lived a life built from simplicity. A safe den. A quiet night. Enough space to move freely beneath the sky. And somehow, that small life felt complete. Over time, however, the world around him slowly changed. Roads stretched deeper into the desert. Lights appeared where darkness once ruled completely. The sounds of distant engines occasionally echoed through valleys of sand that had once known only wind. Still, the fennec fox retreated deeper into the wilderness, seeking the quiet places untouched by noise. Not because he hated the world, but because he understood the value of peace. There was wisdom in the way he lived. He did not waste himself fighting battles that would steal his calm. He protected his energy carefully. He chose stillness over chaos whenever he could. And perhaps that is why people feel strangely comforted when they see a fennec fox beneath the desert stars. Something about him reminds us that life does not always need to be fast or complicated. Peace can exist in small hidden moments if we are willing to slow down enough to notice them. The older the fox became, the softer his movements seemed. His pace slowed, but his spirit grew calmer and deeper with time. He no longer wandered endlessly through every corner of the desert. Instead, he spent more nights resting atop familiar dunes, watching the stars drift quietly across the sky. He had stopped searching for something greater. He had already found enough. Tonight, as darkness settles gently around your own world, imagine the fennec fox standing alone beneath a sky overflowing with stars. The desert stretches endlessly in every direction, silent and peaceful beneath silver moonlight. A cool breeze moves softly across the dunes while tiny grains of sand shimmer like scattered pieces of glass. The fox lifts his head slightly, listening to the quiet heartbeat of the night. And somewhere within that endless stillness, your own thoughts begin to slow. The worries you carried all day start to loosen and drift away like sand in the wind. You do not need to solve everything tonight. You do not need to outrun tomorrow. Like the fennec fox beneath the stars, you only need a small place of warmth, a quiet moment of stillness, and permission to finally rest. So close your eyes now. Breathe slowly. Feel the calmness of the desert night surrounding you. And follow the gentle footsteps of the fox into the deepest and most peaceful sleep.